Hi everyone! Welcome to our channel Performative Drawing. We are now going to do a session number 2, and if you remember well from the session number 1, when we had this situation of crisis and creatures and conflict, we came to the question of the crisis and also to the class. The question here was related to the class struggle. We are now in front of the new white paper, and we should think now in the terms of performative drawing how to represent this question of class. We are going to now to start with this what class was and how it was here represented, and maybe we will go away from this situation of drawing animals and creatures, and maybe going practically away from this situation of animals and trying to represent this on the more abstract way, and maybe to see how the question of class can be, represented, in what kind of relation it can be assessed. And here I imagine a kind of a machine which is actually related to the social determination of class. And this social determination of class is one aspect of class which is determining the class. But this machine has something which is moving this machine. And this is always related to the organic aspect of this machine. And while we are thinking about this, we should see what can move this machine and how we can move the machine on the more abstract way, and to attach to the machine bodies and those bodies are somehow attached in a very interesting way, but they are moving the machine. And this is this relation of the class and this social determination, which is more like a machine organic representation, is something which for us at this moment is interesting. And it looks much more abstract than this last drawing that we had at the session 1, when we had more this idea of making zoomorphic world animals and approaching this from the completely different level. But now we are thinking the question of class more abstract, and the machines are this element which are this level of abstraction are going to improve and to express. So let me see, probably yellow color is here as well, of a good quality, because the bodies are related to more yellowish moments. Yes, you see, it's like very yellowish, and the bodies have these machinistic faces or machinistic elements. So we will see how to end this. This is now the social determination of class. And the second aspect, how the class is defined, is actually going to be solved by using yellow color. And here we can take this yellow color much more. Let's pure yellow. We need pure yellow because of this hand here. We came from the session 1 to the representation, to this stylization of this hand, and we try now to make this hand more more dynamic and connected. And those hands are actually representing the class struggle. So the class is defined through the social structure, through determination, social determination, but also through class struggle. So, and this element of defining the class through class struggle is much more important because it's dynamic element, which can also dynamize the structure. I mean, dynamize the social structure, but this is not the most important aspect now. The most important aspect is how to imagine those hands, and how to put them in dynamic aspect and how to connect them together, because they are disconnected, they are not together connected. And we try now to do this by connecting them more strongly and thinking about these relations and so on. And we will see now how to realize this. It looks quite abstract at this scale, and we should go to performative drawing element. Let's draw together. We need to draw. Maybe we need a bit of making the bodies of the machine more clear, more to let them breathe, to have them more as a kind of breathing element of the machine, because this machine is moved by them. And then to think them together as a machinist element. So we will take the simple idea of the machine and this body part of the machine, and also some other aspects of the machine which can we think on different scale. So this is very interesting, but this machine has also some decorative elements, and at the same time it is a vintage representation of the machine, because the machines are far away from the representation of the machines from the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, but in the same time they are still having very interesting historical and epistemological quality, which connects them to this history of the participation of bodies in the machine making, in this process, in the production process, because we have less and less participation of bodies. We have now practically the participation of the machines for the machines in favor of artificial intelligence and in the favor of perpetuum mobile of artificial intelligence. And this aspect of the machine is away from this, far away of this representation, what we are now going to show. So maybe we are also going to draw some hands of this machinistic world, so that those hands have some kind of machinistic idea that they are going to become artificial intelligence autonomous, and somehow with a face, and not anymore with a abstract machinistic element. So you see what is going on. It is the question of class is a complex concept, and also the definition of class is a complex concept. So we need now to think it more class is here. So it is in the middle of the social determination and class struggle. So this structural determination or social determination, how I call it here, is practically very vividly connected with this on a different scale. So we have now this situation with another aspect. Of class, and this is a class struggle, and this class struggle needs to be more vivid and more dynamic than this machine. So this machine was more rational, and we have been using machinistic approaches, how to paint it, how to define it, and so on. But here we have this situation with hands which are working much better when we want to define more abstract and more strong image. Here. So the black and yellow is going to work well, and also these different layers of using the ways how the brush is working by having strokes differently, defining some sizes and elements here. So we are almost finished. Because the essence is here, we are not going to leave some parts here undefined, so we want to define everything. because this drawing is very clear and it has very clear message. So don't leave abstract, leave it very clear, leave it very defined, and with this you will succeed in your message and you can spread the message much stronger. So, approaching now to the end of our journey today in this session. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this will inspire you in the next session, in the session number 3, that we are going to continue more in some kind of narration which is including more zoomorphic elements and not anymore so abstract things as we have it here. But in this session number 2 we had to go in the more abstract situation, because this is very important for continuing our performative drawing sessions. And here it is also very important to have certain accent, and with this accent to emphasize the struggle which is going on, these contradictions which are appearing here. So this is important, and with this we need a certain dynamic here, because this connection is more rational and this is more dynamic. So with this we want to emphasize certain values and certain characteristics of this struggle. So the class struggle, it's a process oriented, and this structural determination or social determination of the class is more like a machine oriented structure which is defining the class. Both aspects are actually defining the class. Class cannot be defined only by one of those aspects. So I hope that you have enjoyed and that you can see the outcome of the session 2. All the best, and I hope you will enjoy next session. Join our channel and subscribe to Performative Drawing.